Hey everybody, it's Sunday once again, January 25th, 2015.
Man,
Welcome back everybody, this is Show Choir Live, I'm Alex Hall. Whoops, and I've got audio going. Okay,
technical
still trying to figure out how to produce and host the show at the same time. I'm Alex Hall, I'm a choreographer and your host for the evening, coming to you from beautiful Columbus, Ohio, where I am on the third floor of choreographer Shane Coe's apartment, and just hanging out, coming off of a long weekend critique judging at Marysville High School. And my co-host today is Mr. Adam Peters in Iowa City, Iowa. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I am sitting in the kitchen of the lovely Kevin Chase because my apartment currently does not have any internet, so he is loaning me his beautiful, spacious kitchen, and I just came off a long weekend at Pleasant Hill, 24 hours of show choir, being a director, and just craziness.
Why don't you show... Kevin's kitchen is so nice. Kevin's apartment is so nice. Why don't you show it off a little bit?
Yeah, we've got the lovely new appliances over there. We've got some beautiful flowers right here. I bet he got that from his
Wow,
house.
those are nice.
Yeah, and then the dark living room, which we actually had our interview in when he was on the show a few weeks ago. So yeah, thank you, Kevin Chase, who's upstairs sleeping. He's resting. So yeah.
Tell me about your weekend, Adam.
Well, we, Muscatine River City Rhythm, went down to Pleasant Hill, Missouri to compete, and we had a great performance, and we didn't make finals, which, I mean, it's always kind of like, I don't know, it was surprising to me, but, I mean, it's judges, and judges have their opinions, and the thing that I took away from it, we got some great critique comments from our critique judge, who was Joel Johnston from Omaha. He gave us some awesome comments, so I was really happy about that, and the overwhelming response from the crowd was the thing that kind of like boosted everyone's self-esteem. Directors and parents from other schools just coming up to us and being like, oh my gosh, you know, your show is so impactful and amazing, you know. So that was cool. It was the first time in like 4 years, I think, they haven't made finals. So for the seniors, I have like a handful of senior boys who have been in River City Rhythm for all 4 years, so they have no clue what that's like. So it was kind of, you know, as crappy as it sounds, like, it was kind of a cool learning experience just to, like, you know, understand what it's like. And, you know, we stayed, which it's a 6-hour competition away from Muscatine. We stayed for finals and watched every finalist, supported the finalists, and, you know, I'm glad. Like, as sad as it is, I mean, it ended up being a great learning experience. And, I mean, if we can walk away and be happy with that, I think it's good.
Did you guys feel like your show improved versus last weekend?
I think it did. I definitely could see the details that we've worked on this past week. Also, it was kind of strange too, because down in Missouri, I don't know if it's common, and I guess people can tweet at me and kind of answer the question, but there's two judges only judging in each center. So there's 2 centers. And then in our center, they took 4 groups in finals, and the other center had 2 groups that went to finals. So they only had 2 judges, which was kind of different because I think in the Midwest we're used to anywhere from 3 to 5 in day round. So that was interesting, but yeah, they definitely improved since Muscatine, and I'm super excited. Like it doesn't really worry me at all that we didn't make it because the show is in awesome shape. Like I don't know, I'm excited.
Right. And then all you can ask for is to improve, really, and everything else is just,
Yeah, that's the thing. As
you know,
long as we improve every week, I'm happy. If we like go somewhere and don't do as well, like, ooh, but
yeah.
they've busted their butts, and seriously, I can't wait. It's gonna be a great season. Weird start, but we're excited. How was your
Good.
day? You were at Marysville all day.
I was. I was a critique judge along with Mr. Randy Sage, and Christina Sims actually helped me out all day doing critiques with group as well. She's the director of Wichita Flight, which I incorrectly tweeted was Kansas's first competitive show choir, and it is not Kansas's first competitive show choir. Um, Atchison definitely was there before, and they were at your competition, right?
Yeah, Sam Dollins is their director, and he's a super awesome guy. I talked to him multiple times at the competition this weekend. Super great guy. Caught their finals performance for a group that's only been in existence for 3 years. They're doing some awesome stuff down there. It's awesome. Great, great stuff. And Kansas is going to happen, obviously, especially with Christina down there as well.
Yeah, I think the response from her preview show in Wichita in the community was, uh, she'd kind of described it as overwhelming, and I think it's just something they're ready for and they've been waiting for a really long time. So it's
Well,
nice for that to finally have some legs, and that's something that I've kind of been hoping for ever since I started doing that Butler show choir camp at Butler Community College as a clinician. So I'm glad to see that moving at all. That's really, really nice.
it's exciting too because Iowa is going to get a taste of it this year. They're actually coming to Cedar Rapids Jefferson's competition in March. So that's going to be a first. I can't think of any time that a Kansas show choir has come to Iowa to compete. So that's going to be really cool to see them and see how they do. And Muscatine is looking forward to like chill in and getting to know them.
Yeah, they're really, really nice, and they're very talented too. But this weekend at Marysville was a lot of fun critiquing. The first group went on stage at Marysville at 7:30 a.m., which is no small feat. And I was talking to some of the kids, and they said that they were waking up at 1 a.m. to do hair.
Holy moly.
And yeah, it's just insane that people can go and put on a full energy show. I mean, if they're ever hired for Good Morning America, they'll totally know that schedule. They'll be totally fine there. But it was a great weekend, and there were some really cool moments. I was really impressed with Beaver Creek and Olentangy, and my kids from Atoka did great. I didn't get to see Walsh Jesuit, but I heard so many good things, and my brother choreographed for them. So, yay,
Yeah,
Eric.
people were really impressed with them. I've read tweets and saw on showchoir.com, people were super impressed.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool, and I think they felt really good about it too. Um, and then I really enjoyed Fairfield's show as well. I think their concept is really coming together in a really cool way. If you haven't seen that show yet, check that out. And Fairfield girls are super impressive too, and that's the second weekend in a row that Fairfield girls and mix have been back to back in the top three like that, which is crazy.
That is
Um, yeah, and Pure Elegance just has a ton of heart when they perform, and their show is really neat, and that was cool. And I was also really, really proud of the Marysville show. And we worked a lot on that this weekend with Randy, and Jen Unjin came in and did a clinic, and we did a lot of cleaning and tweaking, and we worked on acting a lot. Even yesterday, we were like changing moments in the acting and with the two leads, and they just totally took to it, and it was a nice debut, and I think they're gonna have a really fantastic season. And I have an interview with some Marysville kids coming up that I did in between prelims and finals. So you'll have to stay tuned for that after we do results, which
Before I
Mr.
start
Adam,
results, though, I forgot to mention in Pleasant Hill, Rock Bridge. If anyone has a chance to see Rock Bridge's show choir, City Lights, do it. Their show is phenomenal. Their director, Mike Pearson, put their show together. It's about flight, literally like the plane, how, you know, the Wright brothers. It's great. It starts out with Whitaker's Leonardo piece. It was fantastic. So if you get to see them, check it out, because it was definitely deserving of the win. That brings us to results. Here we go. Jackson Prep. In 5th place, Jackson Academy. 4th place, Auburn. 3rd place, Granada. 2nd place, Petal. In 1st place, with Best Vocals and Best Choreography, Decatur from Illinois. Second competition, Pleasant Hill, Missouri. 6th place, Atchison. 5th place, Harrisonville. 4th place, Jefferson City. 3rd place, Rockbridge Girls. 2nd place, Smith Cotton. And 1st place with the sweep, Rockbridge. At Marysville, 6th place, Olentangy. 5th place, Piqua. 4th place, Beaver Creek. 3rd place, Fairfield Girls. 2nd place, Fairfield. 1st place, Loveland with Best Vocals and Best Choreography. Did they give Best Band away?
You know, they said they were going to do it at night, and I didn't catch it if they did. So if anybody from Marysville knows who won Best Band, let us know.
Yeah. Crete Monet, we've got 5th place, Mantino. 4th place, Troy Buchanan. 3rd place, Mundelein Girls. 2nd place, Wheaton North with Best Vocals. And 1st place with Best Choreography and Best Band, Glenwood, Titan Fever. In Iowa, at the Dallas Center Grimes competition, 5th place, Atlantic. 4th place, Des Moines Christian. 3rd place, Emmitsburg. 2nd place, Bishop Heelan with Best Vocals. And 1st place with Best Choreography and Best Band, Pella. In Nebraska, 6th place, Millard North Girls. Oh, sorry, this was at Millard West's competition in Nebraska. 6th place, Millard North Girls. 5th place, Millard South. 4th place, Papillion La Vista. 3rd place, Elkhorn. 2nd place, Millard North with Best Vocals. And 1st place with Best Choreography, Elkhorn South. At Fisher's competition in Indiana, 4th place, Noblesville. 3rd place, Columbia City. 2nd place, Edgewood with Best Vocals. And 1st place with Best Choreography, Chesterton, which is choreographed by Mr. Alex Hall. Congratulations.
Yeah, Chesterton.
Yeah, go Chesterton Sandpipers, or Sandpoopers for the mistake that I love that I saw that one time. It was really funny, but no one else really.
Fantastic typo. Was that was Southmont, right?
Yeah, I think so. Sandpoopers, go.
Not to call Southmont out, but.
Johnston, 6th place, Norwalk. 5th place, Bloomington Kennedy. 4th place, Dowling Catholic. 3rd place, Ankeny. 2nd place, Ankeny Centennial. And 1st place, Waukee with Best Vocals and Best Choreography. At the Twin Lakes competition, 5th place, Franklin Community. 4th place, Northrop. 3rd place, DeKalb. 2nd place, Bishop Lures. And 1st place with Best Vocals and Best Choreography, Carroll. At the Ralston Invitational in Nebraska, this one was kind of fun. 5th place, Grand Island. 4th place, Roosevelt. 3rd place, Omaha Westside Prep Group. 2nd place, Omaha Westside Girls Group. And 1st place, Omaha Westside with the Best Vocals, Best Choreography, and Best Band. Congratulations, Omaha Westside, on your massive dominance at Ralston. Shout out to Doran. Go Doran.
Go Doran. That's 2 weekends in a row we get to say go Doran.
Altoona, 6th place, Tomah. 5th place, Chippewa Falls. 4th place, Eau Claire Memorial. 3rd place, Preble. 2nd place, Neenah. And 1st place with the sweep, Onalaska. And last but certainly not least, at Milton's Correlation Invitational in Wisconsin, 6th place, Hersey. 5th place, Sauk Prairie. 4th place, Janesville Craig. 3rd place, Waconia. 2nd place, Wheaton Warrenville South with Best Band. And with the win, with Best Vocals and Best Choreography, Wabaness Valley. or Wabanzi Valley, as some people like to call that.
Congrats, Wabanzi. I cannot wait to see that show. Melissa O'Neill keeps sending me like pictures and stuff, but no video, and I'm going crazy. I can't wait to see what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see it too. I also want to see Wheaton because Danny McKee's raving about their performance, so I'm super excited to see that show as well. And I've seen Waconia, and they're amazing. So, yeah, what a powerful top three. Holy cow.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some good contests today. Marysville was a shootout. I mean, that's the second week in a row that the finals of the contests I've been at have just been like really, really, really intense from top to bottom. It was really great.
Just so everyone knows, if I missed any competitions, please tweet us now so I can start including them sometime at the beginning of this show instead of the end. I don't think I did miss any. Oh, Loveland swept with Best Band.
Nice.
Okay. Thanks, Alex.
Right. Yes, thanks, Alex. And speaking of Alex Wampler, I actually am about to play an interview with some of the Marysville kids, including Sir Alex Wampler. Hey Adam, when that first video played, was the audio coming in okay, or was it fuzzy?
Audio was coming in okay. It was the video that was kind of
sketch.
Yeah, sketch.
Okay. I'm gonna try something. Just give me 5 seconds, and I'm gonna roll this interview.
While he needs 5 seconds. Is Jen? Oh, where? Oh, I can't hear you anymore, Alex. Oh no. Everything's going awry. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend.
Yeah. Just talk to yourself, and maybe someone will tweet.
As Dwight Jordan would say, talk amongst yourselves.
Well, Jen's computer, her video was frozen, so I had her restart, and I'm gonna invite her back in during this interview.
Sweet.
But I have to switch to the virtual microphone, so just 1 second, and I'll get this interview going.
Hey, I'm Alex.
I'm Emily.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Sammy.
I'm Nick.
I'm Erin.
I'm Nikki, and we are part of Marysville Swingin' Unlimited.
My favorite memory is Nashville, my freshman year. Just performing at the Grand Ole Opry was...
SCA last year.
My favorite memory would be freshman year showcase because it was like I wasn't expecting all those people there. It was really cool.
Like all the groups that came?
Yeah, and like when we performed and stuff, and the pit was open and there were a lot of people there. It was really cool.
My favorite show choir memory was freshman year when we were all practicing in the hotel lobby right before we went on the Grand Ole Opry. It was just amazing.
My favorite show choir memory was the banquet my freshman year, because the seniors made this really funny video about stuff show choir kids do, and we watched it to this day, and it still makes me crack up. I love that thing.
I made that.
I
made that. That was me.
My favorite show choir memory, probably from freshman year, at Chicago, in the hotel when we all played Truth or Dare together.
Oh no!
No.
I completely forgot about that.
Oh, I didn't.
I was kind of there. That out of my memory.
Can you maybe give me a different one? I don't think I can put that one right.
Probably one of the funniest parts of rehearsal ever was just last night when we ran the closer
Yeah, Randy goes to the band. Can you like play any faster? Like, come on! And they're
he challenges the drummer, and the drummer challenges back.
Here's the tempo. And for the dance pick, it's fine, whatever, like, we can do it. And then the chorus comes in. Oh my god, what is happening to me? James Franco is the party pinata. At the party pinata. He is a pinata with lots of spunk, and he followed us around last year to all of our competitions and gave us some good luck.
What's it like having Mr. Alfera as a director?
Good question.
I think my favorite part about Mr. A is that he knows when to be serious and when to crack down. But he also knows when it's okay to have fun and like goof off a little bit.
One of my favorite things about Mr. Ray is like whenever he asks us to do something, he always like does it first, like to show like that he's not just like saying, oh, just sing like 10 times louder, like just like expects us to. He like shows us what he wants.
Yeah,
Like-
and like that he can do it.
And then that makes us say like,
He
oh,
doesn't care if he's like his voice is cracking or anything.
yeah, he's not
He
afraid
just
to.
does it.
You'll sing the soprano
If he,
song.
if he can sing soprano, then you
If he can sing soprano, then 20 of you can sing soprano. too, so.
He's such a genius. Like,
Oh,
just at our last competition, we had a problem with our ballad. Like, they were saying they didn't want to send softly. And right before we were going to go get ready for finals, he, like, comes with us to what he wants us to do for the ending. And he's already, like, coming up with new plans. And he can just, like, fast forward through, like, all of our songs in our head and, like, give us the key right on it.
and he was just playing everything on the spot.
Like it probably took half an hour.
He
He
wrote
made.
the entire progression on the spot, like in the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
while
Ended
she was
it.
talking.
Yeah.
Going through and he's like, okay, we can do this.
Exactly.
Like
He's
that.
like, all right, that's it. That's right there.
We take for granted how incredible,
Yeah.
like musically he is.
Yeah.
He can
Because
play
he does all of our arrangements.
Yeah, all of it.
like an
and-
amazing accompanist. Like at SCA every
Yeah.
year, he's always like awesome. And then he arranges all of our music. He can sing. He can dance. He can like he can act like
He's
everything.
one of a kind.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
The show would have to be about vampires, and everybody except for one person in the show is a vampire, and we're just hanging around in a vampire castle. And all of a sudden, this non-vampire, so-called human, enters, and we're like, "Oh my God, a human! What are we gonna do about it?" And so the show goes on, and the lead character, who's very handsome, is attracted to said human, and they have this sort of romantic thing going on. And that goes on for the rest of the show. She's afflicted with emotions about becoming a vampire and falling in love with a vampire, and then eventually she gets bitten, and we all party.
Spoiler.
It is a spoiler.
When we first heard that we were doing a story show this year, we were all like, Marysville doing a story show? And we've never attempted anything like this before, like a California caliber show. He has like such a vision, and like we just have to trust him because he knows exactly what he wants.
As the months have gone by, character development and like the storyline, just I love it now.
It's just so new because like we've always been like good at singing and dancing, but now we have to add in like the whole acting element, which is something that we're not exactly like familiar with, like incorporating, and so it's really like tricky and challenging, but like so rewarding.
But we went typical last week. We're hosting Marysville this week. Next week we're in Marion Harding, and then we're going to Polka, West Virginia, Loveland, Ohio, and then Twinsburg, Ohio, and we're gonna finish off in Fame, Orlando. Literally everyone today just blew my mind. Matoaka, you're so tiny and loud and powerful, and I love all of you.
Shout out to my host group, Loveland.
Walsh Jesuit, you have like been hiding in the walls somewhere
In
and
the
like
walls.
came out today and just like punched me in the face with sound and visuals, and I loved it. You guys are incredible.
I got a shout out to Fairfield because that's my host group. Wow, I sat in that pit and I was just like blown away.
I'm gonna shout out to the show choir world because everyone's just amazing.
That's a Sammy
Suck
shout
up.
out.
Yeah.
Well, I love everyone. Like show choir
This
is my
is Sammy.
family.
This is our innocent human, of course. This is her in real life too. She's the sweetest girl.
This year is such a good year for show choir. Just all around, every group that I've seen has really entertained me.
Yeah.
Everyone's in it to win it.
Yeah.
Stick around for more Show Choir Live.
Hey, I'm Alex.
I'm Emily.
I'm Race.
I'm Emily.
Wow. That was cool. Alex?
Sorry for the awkward silence. I had to switch my mic back to my built-in mic. But yeah, they're hilarious. I love those kids, and they crushed it at night. We had a real blast doing that interview too.
That's awesome.
But I think we have all of our glitches and all of our goblins and ghosts worked out, and we finally have our first guest from the fairly new to show choir state of Texas, Miss
Deep in the
Jennifer
heart of
Randall.
Texas.
How are you?
How are you guys?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What did you do this weekend?
I did not compete anywhere, which was sad because that's what everybody's doing right now. It's January, right? All my friends are hanging out without me, it feels like. No, I watched live stream of Marysville because I'm a junkie, so I have to get my show choir somewhere. And I did hang out with my own personal children, like my sons and my husband, which was nice because, you know, life of a choir director, we don't get to see our family a ton during the season and everything. And also, you know, it was like 70 degrees today, so we hung out outside a lot and went to
Oh, you
Right.
dog.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. It was 70 here, and it was 72 in Columbus, actually.
Yeah.
72 in snow. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that seems about right. Yeah, totally.
So tell me how you became a choir director. Where did you go to college? How did the idea get planted in your head? Were you in show choir in high school? Give us some of the history of where you're coming from.
The history of Jen. I actually went to high school in two places. We moved around a lot when I was a kiddo. My dad is a newspaper publisher, and so every time we got promoted, we had to move to a new town because there's only one newspaper per town. So first part of high school for me was spent in Hannibal, Missouri, which has a competitive show choir, River City Review. And Lisa Whitley was my director at the time, and you know the kiddos went to Show Choir Camps of America and all that fun stuff, and Quincy Showcase of Excellence in Rockbridge, and all of those kind of competitions where we went. So I got to do that my sophomore year, and that kind of stoked my fire for show choir. It was, you know, my first experience to do, obviously, high school competitive show choir. And then my junior and senior year, we moved to Grand Island, Nebraska. So I was in Ultimate Image my last 2 years of high school. And I came in at kind of a weird time. I'm old enough that, you know, competitive show choir wasn't really in Nebraska yet at that point. And so my end of my show choir time, I graduated in '99. The kids went to Show Choir Camps of America for the first time the summer after I graduated. So my brother was coming into high school. He had the benefit of that. Joni Ramsey was the director at the time. And so that was kind of the beginning of the amping up of show choir in Nebraska. So I went on to University of Nebraska, go Huskers, go Big Red, and I was a music ed major. And my senior year, we did, a bunch of us kind of got together, and I don't know what the administrative version of this, so Dr. Eklund's probably going to text me later and be like, that's totally not what happened. But we, the kids, feel like it was us getting together deciding we needed to have a show choir, you know, at Nebraska. And so we got together and formed Big Red Singers, and with Keith Currington was our faculty advisor, and like Zach Bjornson, who's at Millard West, was in that group with me. And so a lot of the people around that age, we got together and did that. So that was a really exciting experience to get to see the beginnings of a show choir and to really get to have some hands-on experience before I graduated. And from there, I taught for 2 years in Nebraska, and then my husband and I just kind of, we didn't have any family in Nebraska anymore. My parents had moved, and so we kind of threw darts at a map and said, where do we want to live, and pick a big adventure, and we said whoever gets a job first wins, and I got my job here at Keller Central High School, and we've been here ever since. So they hired me because they wanted me to do show choir. When I got to Texas, I realized what they meant by show choir and what I thought they meant by show choir were two different things. So I had, you know, 16 kiddos in my group, and it was a relatively new school, so a smaller department anyway, but I saw what was happening in Texas, and it was kind of what I saw when I was in high school in Nebraska, the beginnings of show choir getting big. So I showed the kiddos some videos and said, you know, I can do this for you if you want to compete. You know, these are some groups that I know up north. If you want to do this, we can do this. And that was the beginning. So I caught the bug early, and it's just, you know how show choir is. It's very, very addictive, and so you know, I couldn't imagine my life without it. And I'm glad that I'm getting to do it, and I'm glad that I'm getting to bring it here to a state that is, I mean, just has such a rich tradition of choral music. So there's a lot.
I mean, we've always said on the show that we've always been on the lookout for Texas because, you know, for years we hear about the choral department and the choral music there. The reputation is you know, fantastic. And so once that egg started breaking, I was like, uh-oh, here they come. They're going to get us all. We're going down.
Area of the country, like, you know, we know Iowa has great choral music. I mean, all that area in the upper Midwest, you know, Wisconsin, and it's great choral music up there. But until I got here and was a part of it, I mean, these children are ridiculous musicians. Like, the level, we have to do, you know, competitive sight reading as part of our district music contest in the spring for our concert choir, and it's intense. Like they hand the kids a piece of sheet music with 42 measures they've never seen before. They have to sight read it. They don't have to do solfege, but I mean the norm is you read it on solfege. You get 2 reads. There's all these rules about you can sing now, you can't sing now. It's intense, and it creates, like I said, these amazing musicians. These kids can sing anything, and so the big challenge when I was starting it here competitively anyway. Is just getting them to do the style of dance that we're all used to, in the South and California and Midwest, that intense level of dancing with choral music. And so that was kind of the new part for them, because certainly they've had show choir here for a while, but it was maybe more what we would all call swing choir,
like
smaller.
No risers, no anything like that.
A really popular model in Texas is about 16 kids, and each one of them has a microphone. And so it's more like a pop choir where they do movement, but it's certainly not what we think of as competitive show choir. So.
Wow.
Right.
I mean, I didn't even really know Texas was that big of a choral powerhouse until I met you and kind of got to know about Texas. I always thought Texas was just football and marching band.
We are that too. We're really good at both those things. Yeah. I think we're like an island, if that makes sense. People joke all the time about Texas being its own country. We're just so huge. We don't really even need to talk to other people in the country, and so we just do our own thing. And then people are like, "Oh, like you're saying, you didn't even realize." We don't even care that you didn't realize. We're like, "Well, we know what we're doing. We know we're awesome." So, but part of the struggle in starting it here is the geography. It is such a big state. Getting pockets of it going where there's enough of us doing it that we can start a competition circuit, is hard in and of itself. Like from where I live here in Keller, this is the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you could travel from here to El Paso, and it takes 7 minutes longer than it takes me to get from here to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
And that's in the same state. So, I mean, that's kind of part of the challenge, is getting the whole state on board with something. We're huge, we're the size of a small country. So that's been very, very eye-opening for me, too, since I got here.
So how many competitions are there down there right now? And how many show choirs competitively are down there?
Okay. There is one show choir invitational in the state of Texas right now. It's
yours, right?
It's mine. It's called the Lone Star Show Choir Invitational, and it is the last weekend in February every year. Now, Fame used to host an event, I'm pretty sure, in San Antonio here, and it was the mid-2000s.
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio is a hard sell. It's hard to get to if you're outside of Texas. I keep poking Bert Johnson saying, you could do one in Dallas. We're kind of centrally located in the sense that it's easy to get to from out of state. So that's helped us. That event started in 2009, I think was the first year we did it. And we had 6 groups competing. This year we have 2 days. We do middle school on Friday, because we have quite a few feeders, at least in my district alone, now that are built up, and that's really cool to see happening. So middle school's on Friday, and then we have 17 high schools competing on Saturday.
Wow.
Doran Johnson is judging, Katie DeSico, his choreographer, and then Ann and Ellen Chapman are coming to judge as well. Ann has a connection to Texas because she was a Baylor Bear. So
that's Ann and her being a Baylor Bear.
Come down, yeah, exactly. So they're coming to judge, and last year we had like New Mexico, the La Cueva groups were here. We've had groups from Mississippi. One of our favorite groups, we just met them last year, Broken Arrow in Oklahoma. They're kind of near where Jinx is in Tulsa.
Kristen Chenoweth's hometown.
Yeah, exactly. They're awesome. You're going to love them. You're going to get to see them sometime, and they're just rocking and rolling. They're going to take over the universe there, I think. And so they're coming back this year. They have 2 groups this year. And I'm trying, my brain is now spinning in 35 directions. But in my particular area here in Dallas-Fort Worth, we have Arlington High School, who has competed at a Fame event now and has won ours in the past and is coming back. They've been choreographed by Steph in the past, and currently I think they're choreographed by Ryan McCarty, who is works with Katie DeSico. And
just to clarify, Steph Hyatt, right?
Yes, Steph Hyatt. Everybody's, yes.
Just so everyone knows.
Everybody knows who our Steph is, right? Yeah. Then Keller High School, which is the crosstown rivals to my high school, is choreographed now this year by Ben Eklund for the first time. So that was really, really exciting. He has a little bit of a foot in Texas since his new bride is one of my former students. So kind of made a connection there that he's going to be stuck with Texas forever, whether he likes it or not. But their show is amazing. I mean, they were already amazing singers. It's so fun to see them put it together with, what we think of as show choir and seeing it grow so quickly. So, and that's just two of many of the groups that are around here that are starting to get on board with it. And so we're hoping, what we really need now is that another school around here starts an invite. So we're working on that now. I'm working with directors to show them that that's not scary. It's simple to do. You just get your parents, support, and then call everyone you know and tell them to bring their kiddos. So, so we're working on it. It's a lot of a process for me, I feel like, but I love being the ambassador of show choir. I'm the show choir lady. When I go to convention in Texas, everyone's like, oh yeah, Jen, the show choir girl. So it's my thing here, and I'm okay with that. I love that that's my calling card. So.
Well, your passion is kind of overflowing. I'm like super excited, and I don't live in Texas, so I need to get down there.
Come visit anytime you want. You can come hang out anytime you want. It's very fun, and I know I talk super fast and super loud when I get animated too, so I know that's overwhelming as well. But I mean, it's just because I'm so passionate about what we've been able to do here, and I have these just completely amazing students and parents, and my co-director, who I've worked with for 9 years, Leanne McClure, she is, beyond supportive for a thing that she knew nothing about when she took that job. That's got to be scary for someone like her to walk in the door and be like, what are we even talking about here? Is this going to take over our whole program? Are we still going to be competitive for all the things we normally do here in Texas? And she's been nothing but supportive. And so I just have an amazing group of people around me.
You have said a lot of super exciting things, but I think one of the most super exciting things is you guys are coming to Wheaton Warrenville's Choral Classic this year.
No way!
Yeah.
That is our one and only competition that we go to, is Wheaton this year.
Yes, so the Midwest literally is going to get their first taste of live Texas show choir, which is incredible.
Yes.
Because basically everyone goes to Wheaton. It's obviously super well attended by choirs from all over.
Yeah.
So are you nervous? Are your kids excited? What are they feeling?
I think nervous is probably an understatement. They may not be, the kiddos may not be as nervous. I try to put on a good face for them. So I know a bunch of them are watching now, so I'm going to tell you the truth, kiddos. Yes, I'm totally nervous. One of my students' aunt texted me a minute ago, Anthony, and said, give me a shout out. So there's your shout out, kiddo. We had a chat at the end of rehearsal yesterday, actually, about, and this is somewhere I haven't had to go in my head as a director for a long time, and Adam, you were talking about this with Muscatine, and it's, the goal for us is always, with one competition a year, to get to finals so that we can do the show twice. You just want to have the opportunity to do the show twice. And, in previous years, the kiddos who are seniors now have never had an experience where they didn't make finals. And so, this is, an important lesson for them one way or another, no matter what happens, that, if they don't make finals, just that they told their story and they did it to the best of their ability and, really touched people and made an impact. And if they do make finals, great, we got to do the show twice, So that's kind of our mindset going in. Like you said, everybody in the universe, it feels like, is going to be there. They'll get to see some groups they've never had the benefit of seeing before, which is very exciting. They've done West Side a lot of times. That's our normal competition. Doran and his kids do an amazing job putting on a fantastic. They go above and beyond to do whatever they can for anybody, and we love going to that. And so we were sad that we couldn't do that one this year, but we're glad that we're getting to do this. We've done Fame Orlando in the past. We got to do Fame Nationals in 2013. Yeah, 2013. And we placed 13th there, so that was very exciting for us. And we're just, so blessed to even have the opportunity to compete anywhere. But that's kind of the struggle. We want to get to a place where we can have a season. I think that the Midwest groups and Southern groups, California groups, take for granted the fact that, they can go 2 or 3 times, 4 times a year.
Yeah, and get the opportunity to perform twice. I never even thought about that. If you don't make finals, and you only got one shot. Wow.
Yep.
How do you think is show choir spreading in Texas because there are imports from the Midwest and from the South that are college graduates coming in and starting things from scratch, the way that you did? Kind of coming from Nebraska and Big Red Singers, which I think that's so cool. You were in the first Big Red Singers.
Yes.
But are you growing via imports, or is it that they're seeing the work that you and some of the other handful of schools have been doing, and they're saying, I would love to do that as well? Or is it a mixture of both?
It's definitely the latter right now. A lot of, it's not for lack of me recruiting kiddos to come down and come work here, because these are fantastic choral jobs. If you want to teach choral music and you're a choral musician, come move to Texas. You will be fulfilled beyond your cup running over every day. Not that you can't do that anywhere, but Texas is special like that, and I truly believe that. Right now, like you said, they're seeing what we're doing, they're seeing the success we're having. I do a lot of clinics with different groups, sessions talking to other directors. I do a lot of consulting with different groups, helping them plan their shows, helping them pick their music, helping them find choreographers, dealing with costuming, because that's the part of it that's really scary. No matter where you live, if you're starting one, is like, how do you go about it? It almost seems like there's some sort of convention going on all the time where everybody knows each other, and like, where did I miss the memo about this? Or, and so I've been working really hard to make it seem less intimidating, less scary, and they're seeing the benefits that our program is getting out of it. Like, our numbers in our program have jumped exponentially the more successful show choir gets, and that's related to a lot of factors, but certainly show choir is a huge part of that. Last season, we did a show. I built a show specifically, tuned to Texas, and it was called Friday Night Lights. And so the whole show choir show told the story of, one Friday to the next, basically. A loss on a Friday to picking yourselves up and coming back together, and a win on the next Friday. And, that was done very thoughtfully on my part so that I could find a way to kind of marry the two things that I enjoy most. Texas high school football and show choir, right? And I do have to give a shout out to Josh Hulls. That was his idea, in the sense that
Josh.
I was judging at Lincoln Southwest a few years ago, and he was like, so would show choir be more successful in Texas if you just made it about football? And I was like, that's not a bad idea. So even Todd is my choreographer, and luckily, initially he was like, I don't know anything about football, and I was like, it's fine, we can make this work. And people around here anyway, especially, and other students at my high school that, wouldn't have seen us otherwise. We performed a pep rally last year for the first time, and that just made us infinitely more visible, and really, we're over 330 kids in our program this year. Last year we were at about 250. So a jump of 70 kids in the program over 1 year, that's huge numbers. So
show choir is the gateway drug to music in general.
It is. It brings kiddos in. Really, whatever gets them in the door. We say we hook them with the show choir, and we keep them with the Bach, right? Texas Friends and Allstate, right? The Bach, no? Okay. All Texas people are like, the Bach. All the Allstate music for us right now is living in our universe. So.
So you guys have typically competed one time a year, just because there's nowhere to go besides your own contest.
Yes.
And so your show for this year hasn't debuted then, yeah?
We've had premiere night, of course, locally for ourselves. We do our premiere show with our feeder show choirs, our feeder middle schools, as well as, of course, the prep group on my own campus. So that's a really fun evening of show choir all together. That was in December. They'll perform this week at a local event we do on our campus called Man of the Year. It's a this is the weird way to say it, but a male beauty pageant, basically. They pick 12 senior guys and give them each a month of the year, and they compete beauty pageant style. But anyway, we always perform at that. So that's right. It's super fun.
That's Mr. Muscatine for Muscatine.
There you go. See, okay, I'm glad that we're not the only people that do that. So also, it's been a show choir kid for 4 years, so we got.
I just had one show choir kid win Mr. Muscatine. Shout out Ian. Good job.
Ian is Mr. Muscatine?
Yes, Alex. Ian Steenhook is Mr. Muscatine.
My goodness.
I love that. I wish ours, I don't know what else you'd call ours. We're the Chargers. I can't think of anything cute about that. But Mr. Muscatine makes it.
Mr. Electric.
We usually perform at Man of the Year and then leave the next morning to go to Omaha West Side. So since we're not competing until March, I think directors out there can sympathize, you don't want to peak too early either, and you don't want to over-rehearse, or you don't want it to get stale. And so the challenge really for this year, for me anyway, as a director, has been, keeping them moving all the way to the eye on the prize being March, as opposed to the eye on the prize being the first one in January. That's been really tricky. So, we're only allowed to compete out of state once every year or once every other year, and so even though we're close to the edge of the state, and it's not even as far to go to like Oklahoma as it is to go to San Antonio, those rules are in place, and so we have to work around that too. So it's moving, it's going forward, but it's going to take some more time before we're there. Also, we're ready for all of the Midwest to come and compete down here with us. So there you go. That'll help things too.
Yeah, really. Midwest, get your butts down to Texas.
Lester said he's going to do it for years. I'm calling him out on Show Choir Live. So Lester, you better bring Ankeny Centennial. Let's do this.
Yeah, they've got a crazy, awesome show this year.
I love those kiddos. I love the Ankeny kiddos. They are so much fun at Show Choir Camp every year. I always do Nebraska Show Choir Camp, and so I know a lot of these kids from these schools, and Show Choir kids are just the best. They really just are. It's a rare breed of kid.
Yeah, the Ankeny kids do like double duty. They go to UNL and then they turn around and go to SCA.
That's right, immediately, back to back, exactly. I would love for my kids to go to SCA. It is something like, I think it's 24 hours in a drive is what we discovered one time when we were looking. I mean, it's just.
What year was the first year of Big Red Singers?
It was my senior year, so 2002, 2003.
Okay. And you guys held a competition that year, right? Or was it the year after?
The next year after that is when we started doing Midwest Cup.
Because that's when I was a freshman in high school, and Davenport West came and won the first Big Red Singers Midwest Cup.
Get out of town! Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and I remember seeing Big Red Singers do Circle of Life the next year after.
My brother was the soloist in that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's my brother. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was there. I saw him.
That's him. He has a theater degree from Nebraska, so he was in Big Red Singers. It's a family thing for us. My sister was not. I don't know what happened there. Oh yeah, we moved here. That's what happened.
The black sheep of the family.
She is. Yeah, she's a writer. I mean, what is that?
Oh, wow.
She was this all-state show or choir member though, so obviously she got the soprano vocals that I was clearly not blessed with. So.
What was it like starting a college show choir from scratch? And do you think that's college show choir is kind of a rare thing in a way? What do you think about college show choir? Do you recommend it? How was it to start it? What was difficult or what was easy about starting that program?
Part of the catalyst for us to do it is there was a group called Scarlet and Cream. It existed in Nebraska for a very long time, and it was used as a recruitment tool by the Alumni Association, but it had no connection to the School of Music. And so it was kind of some music majors and kids that had done show choir in the past that were a part of it, but again, it had no connection with school music. So I think that was more of something that we wanted to use as a recruitment tool. Show choir was becoming a big thing in Nebraska at the time, and it is unusual because, I mean, you're not competing anywhere, you're not competing with anyone, but I think every show choir kid watching, we're all evidence of it sitting, on this hangout right now, is that you leave when you're done with high school and it's literally something you can never do again, unless you go into it professionally as a director or choreographer, and it fills that void for a lot of those kids. I've got a student up there, former student up there right now, Dalton Myatt's in it this year, and I'm just so pleased that he has the opportunity to, go to college. He's not a music major. He's, I think he's doing law or something like that. But he gets to keep this going in his life for another 4 years and gets to enjoy this time on stage. It's so rare. I mean, like, how else can you do that unless you're in a college show choir? There's no professional show choirs, no adult ones really. I mean, I know they exist, but kind of just as rare as a college one. So it was not difficult. There were enough of us that knew show choir really well at that point that was kind of more of a thing like getting the School of Music to say, sure, that's fine, we're okay with you doing that, we'll put you on our brochure kind of deal. But we were all like gung-ho, ready to go. It was more like too many chiefs and not enough Indians to begin with, because most of us were music ed majors going to direct show choirs at some point. So it was like a room full of directors and choreographers. Someone had to listen and not be the leader. That was probably the biggest challenge, but you can ask a few of them when you go see that kind of age group of people. Ann Chittenden's that age too, and I can remember all of us being together just trying to, having rehearsal was like, everyone be quiet. Not all of us have to be in charge all the time. So.
What are some things that you learned from being in that kind of ground up kind of a situation that you were able to apply in your situation in Keller, and what advice would you have? For example, our friend Christina, who we mentioned earlier, just started the very first show choir in Wichita, Kansas that has ever competed, and it's a community-based group, but they're going out and they're going out of state and they're actually going to competitions, and there's maybe one other show choir in Kansas that competes, so that's a huge victory for them, just the fact that they exist. But what advice would you give to people that are starting show choir brand new in regions and in cities that it does not exist in and there's no regional precedent for whatsoever?
First of all, let me just say that if that is the situation you're in, or you know somebody, or you're a student and you want your director to start one, something like that, people like myself are great resources. We've done it. We can help. You know, and really that's the most important part, is getting connected with people who can help you. When we started Big Red Singers, obviously I got to see it from being a performer in it, and as well as kind of like helping with it to start it. But really my first teaching job, which was in Ashland, Nebraska, which is a very small town between Lincoln and Omaha, you know, they had a show choir, and we went and competed at that very same Midwest Cup that you competed at. And they had, I mean, we had like 16 kids in it, and, you know, it's not about like, there's 40 of us on stage and we have the best costumes ever, and, you know, we're winning everything. You know, yes, of course that's awesome if you can do that, but really the goal is, you know, to tell a story, to tell your story, you know, to have this relationship with these people you're on stage with. And you can do that whether there's 16 kids, you can do that whether there's 50 kids. You don't have to have custom arrangements to do that. You don't have to have, you know, the $7 million Gail McKenna sequin extravaganzas to do that. You can do that with whatever you have. And so it's important also to think long term. I think when groups try to start too big too soon, sometimes they burn themselves out. That can be a mistake that I've seen made, or overdoing it, or, you know, that kind of stuff. It's important to look down the line a little bit, and, you know, it's okay to start small. It's okay to be small for a while. You know, VOC, my group that I've done now since 2005, had 16 in it the first year, 24 in it the second year. We didn't get above 30 until the third year, and then we stayed in the 30s, 32 to 34, for about 5 years. And that may be small to, you know, a lot of the Midwestern groups, but it worked for us. And so just because it wasn't what everybody else was doing doesn't mean it didn't work. So it's important to look to others and ask questions, but it's also important to know who your kids are, what your situation is, and what's going to work for you. So also don't be afraid to just go to a competition, whether you know, feel like you're going to get, you know, slaughtered or not. That's not what's important. You know, your kiddos need the experience of seeing it live, I think, before it really sinks in. That was when my students really like, oh, got it. You know, we competed at South Jones the very first year we competed. And Stephen was a judge, and that's kind of part of how he and I got hooked up together. But my kiddos, just watching their faces that first competition and seeing what I'd shown them on video and what I've been talking about, like, come to life in front of them. They were just so excited to be a part of that in the audience, and it didn't matter what they did on stage. They were pumped, so they caught the bug. So yeah, any way you can help your parents and the students you have catch the bug, anytime they can do anything where they can see it live, that's the best thing you can do for those kids. And just remember that it's about having one more musical experience in their lives. Yes, it's competitive. My kids always joke that I'm the world's most competitive human being, and I think we probably all are in the world of show choir, but you know, it's about the experience they're having on the stage and what they can take from that and put into their rest of their lives, you know?
Mm-hmm. I always feel like one competition day is equal to 15 rehearsals. I mean, especially if you can get into finals and get to refine and tweak and do again, and their confidence just grows that much more. Yes. And I mean, you know, especially with the newer groups and the younger groups, or groups that have been around a while, but a lot of them are freshmen and sophomores, and maybe they're, you know, a little bit insecure about how they are as performers. And, you know, I've seen such crazy changes between the Thursday before the competition and the Tuesday after. It's like looking at two different groups of people. And I think we forget that in a way sometimes. That really is where the growth happens sometimes, is going out there and not talking about doing it and not working on doing it and not thinking about doing it, but just doing it. And I think that's such a huge thing to remember.
My kiddos and I were talking on Friday. And I had just clinicked a group Thursday night, the night before, LD Bell, yay! I said to them, you know, that famous line, art isn't easy, and what I always say to my kids is art is never finished. We're done with our show, because we had to get on stage. Like it's never something
that's a momentary pause.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I see you again right afterwards, I'm going to change 5 things. And
exactly.
That's the beauty, though. I mean, it's a living, breathing thing. And how can you not get excited about that? And there's so much that they can learn from that experience of having to get out there, put themselves out there in this really sometimes overwhelming and intense experience, and come off the stage, and like you said, if you're lucky enough to make finals, your director's inevitably, like the Marysville kids said in that piece, gonna like change 16 things, and oh, this is different in the closer, and let's do what this judge said, and get back out there, like thinking on your feet and problem solving skills. Like these are real world things these kids need to have under their belts before they graduate from high school. We're teaching them something that, there's not a lot of venues that can learn it in that way. I mean, it's a very intense way to learn it, but I think our kids come out of high school really well equipped for pretty much anything the world could throw at them.
I have a question. That's exactly right, though. I have a question from Twitter from Dominic from California, and we all love Dominic. He's, for those of you who don't know Dominic, he's an up-and-coming choreographer. Awesome. But he asks, what was your favorite UNL show choir camp memory from summer?
From this year or ever?
Both.
I liked meeting Dominic this summer. That's what he wants to hear, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all.
I know that's what he really wants. Gosh. I don't know. I have done it literally every year. I've been either a counselor or a clinician every single year. So there's a lot to choose from. I think probably my favorite memory is just like it's a reoccurring thing, and that's watching these kids go from not even knowing each other on the first day, literally not even knowing all of each other on the first day, to having created a complete product by the end of the week. Like watching what we do in 6 months happen in 5 days. Like that's just amazing to me. It's amazing every single year. I'm never not in awe of what happens by the last day of what's going on there, and the chance to meet these kiddos. But I cherish my memories of hanging out with, Stephen and April have been the choreographers there always with me, and we've added some along the way. And Kevin Chase, hey, he was texting me at the beginning. He wanted me to tell you that from his upstairs, and he and I got to work together this year, and that was really special to get to work with somebody that I had never worked with before, and he and I formed a bond, almost immediately that I cherish. But also Doran and Lester and I, and Jonathan Dearland, we just kind of during that week get to spend all of our friend time just in those 5 days and really get to hang out, and we don't get to do that any other time of the year. So we have movie night where we go see an action movie, and we have like all these little things that we do every year that are really special to us, and that's the friendship part of show choir that the kids get too, but I think we as adults also get fed that way. So
that's great.
Go ahead, Adam.
We can all together.
How many kids do you have in your group this year, and can you give us anything at all about the show, or is it state secret, or what?
That was my exact question.
People have seen it now. If you know anything about us, or you know anything about me, I'm super musical theater based. That's a huge part of my passion. And I share a lot of kiddos with our theater department here, and that's not something that's, I think, always common. And so our shows are pretty theatrically based. I'm very inspired by California. Adam and I, the first time we met, actually met at Al in 2012.
Yeah.
And he was sitting either right next to me or a couple rows down, or a couple seats down, when we saw Prodigal Son.
Burbank.
And it was like, when that show got done, if you haven't watched it, first of all, go YouTube it, children. Secondly, when that got done, like, we stood up, and Adam's, like, almost half in tears, and I, like, can't breathe, and we're just like, what just happened? It was such an amazing experience together.
The clearest part of that day to me was Ben Eklund's face after that show. He sat there, and he just was, I've never seen it so, yeah, it was amazing.
Silent, which never happens, Ben. Never. I can say that. I've known since he was 10. No, it was such a, like, I don't know. It was such an intense experience. And, of course, the videos never do it justice. But live, it was like, oh, my goodness, just literally sucked the air out of the room. And, that was my first time to see California groups live, My boosters were amazing. They allowed me to go out there. My school used that as professional development for me to go out there and see that day, that competition day. But that really informs a lot of what I do. So we certainly don't have the sets and props kind of all that direction quite that intense. But
Not a lot of places do.
yeah, I know. There is, and we've had them in the past, but this year we are doing no sets and props, which makes everyone's life so much easier, right? But I don't know if I want to share. I don't know, but
can you give us a teaser or like?
I will tell you that the show is called Star-Crossed, and you can take from that what you will. There are 2 leads, and it is called Star-Crossed.
Okay, cool.
So that
and it's about volleyball.
It's about volleyball now. We're doing another sports show. No, the year before we did Friday the Nationals, it was also, the kids call it the painting.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, everybody was doing shows based on movies. It felt like, and I wanted to find medium kids, and I have Sunday in Chicago Art Institute.
Hold on. 1 second. Are you guys hearing a terrible echo?
Yeah, your mic is being funky.
Is it mine?
I think so.
That's weird because I didn't do anything.
Did you accidentally click on a show choir live?
No. We close out of anything that isn't me. How about now?
Sounds a little bit okay. But you're talking about the painting show, and then it got weird. So what?
Okay. Oh, I can still hear it.
Yeah.
Maybe try muting your computer speakers when you talk.
I'll do that for you. Okay, is that fixed? Can you hear me talking though? You can hear me talking. Okay, I can't hear myself, but that's fine. Okay, the painting, George Seurat, Sunday in the Park, and so we took inspiration from that, and so it was a very lyrical show. It was a very beautiful show. It was a love story, and so for the next year, I really wanted to do something that wasn't like that at all. So that's hence the football show, total opposites. So this year is kind of a melding of, there's some pretty moments, but there's some like intense moments, and there's some, conflict and resolution on stage, things like that. So it's, the kids and I are working really hard right now on making sure the story elements are clear. Their choreo looks great, the singing sounds awesome. We just want to be sure that the story comes through, and the overreaching message comes through too. Stephen, I mentioned, is our choreographer. I've seen Mitchell forever, I feel like. I can remember all the way back to the Rugrats show in 2001, which was like Guimar's last year. And they always have something interesting. There's always, whether it's a story or not, there's always some interesting elements that are really kind of unique to them, and that informs a lot of what I do as well too. They're kind of like our sister show choir. We love Friendiku, and we're always so inspired by what they do, and so he's been really great to kind of just jump off a cliff with me every year when I call him and go, this is what I want to do this year, and there's a day of him going, you've lost your mind, and then he comes around every time. So, but yeah, Star-Crossed, there's 2 leads, so I think that will give you some ideas there.
Gotcha. Maybe if your volume's down, we won't have an echo problem, but one of my favorite parts of the show is coming up. It's called Lightning Round, and I set the timer for 60 seconds, and I will ask you as many questions as I possibly can. And I'm hearing the echo. Maybe is it me?
No, now it's not you. Oh, I don't hear it on me either anymore. Did it go away?
Maybe it went away.
Yay, lightning round!
We win. Okay, so it's time for a lightning round.
Yeah.
60 seconds on the imaginary clock, which I will not monitor.
Okay, thanks.
And we'll go through as many of these quick questions as we can, all right?
I'll keep it short. I know I'm very chatty.
Okay, here we go. And away we go. Advil or Tylenol?
Advil.
New York or LA?
New York.
Shrimp or lobster?
Neither.
Austin or San Antonio?
Austin.
What's the best city in Florida?
Disney World.
Is that a city?
Yeah. Have you ever been there? Main Street?
I believe Lake Buena Vista.
It's called Celebration.
There you go. What is the worst city in the U.S.? Don't say Lincoln.
I would never say that. That's terrible. I can't. I would never say anything bad about any city in the U.S. That's my
Good
favorite.
answer. What's the best thing about Texas?
The stars at night are big and bright.
Wow.
Yeah! I was going to sing that when you got on the show, but I decided not to.
It's our theme song.
What's the worst thing about Texas?
Oh, the heat in the summer. It's terrible. It's brutal.
What's the best song on the radio right now?
Uptown Funk. Done. Love it.
Also a good answer. What's the worst song on the radio right now?
That going on Tuesday. What is that song? It's a rap song. My children are all laughing at me right now. It's a rap song. It's called Tuesday. It's a nightmare. No.
iTunes or Spotify?
Spotify.
Good answer. High five.
Help me plan.
What's your favorite candy bar?
Butterfinger.
What's the best holiday?
Christmas.
Where should I go?
In life, in general.
In general.
Paris.
Where should I go in Texas?
Oh, Keller. Duh. Come visit me.
Will do. What's the most embarrassed you've ever been on stage?
I forgot to change the bottom half of my costume first year in River City Review. I was wearing the white skirt instead of the black skirt, and I thought I could really, really quickly and simply tear it off and throw it off stage without anyone noticing. Everyone noticed. There's definitely a video of it. Super embarrassing.
Adam will have to track that down. Disneyland or Disney World?
World.
Would you rather be stuck in a blizzard at a show choir competition or stuck at the top of a roller coaster?
I thought you were going to ask me about being stuck on a bus. We got stuck on our bus on the way home from West Side last year overnight due to an ice storm in Oklahoma. So I thought you were going to tease me about that.
Wait. You were
I
stuck
remember this.
on the bus. You didn't even get off of the highway?
We got off the highway. We were at a, do you have Love's truck stops there? Anyway, we were at a Love's truck stop, and we had to stay the night there, and we stayed on the buses, segregated the boys and the girls, one on each bus. It was fun. I mean, everybody was super safe. It was just weird.
That is crazy.
Yes.
What's your favorite show choir show? This is the last one.
Full show? I mean, people are probably going to be like, sure, whatever, but Harry Potter, I just have to. It's just
Ooh, good choice.
It was just bad. 2011 blew my mind. Like, when I met that child who played Harry Potter the year we were there, I tried not to be a weirdo because I remembered he was just like a 17-year-old kid and not actually Harry Potter. But
he could definitely pass for him, though.
He really could, yeah. But, yeah, I got to say Harry Potter, yeah.
That's a great show. My great aunt, who lives in New York City, and she's like 80-some years old, she was freaking out when she saw that at Fame New York. She loved it.
Really well done. They did a great. I mean, I love a lot of shows, but I mean that one's that's the one I show kids when I want to get them excited about show choir.
Right. You're like, we could do this.
It is. Yeah. No, we can't do this. My parents don't work in the film industry, but you know.
Cool. That's the end of lightning round. Good job. You had some great answers there, especially the iTunes or Spotify. That is the correct answer. Everybody who doesn't have Spotify Premium out there, you should be getting it, and I should be getting paid for promoting it to every single person I run into.
You should get Spotify free because of doing this, I think.
Say what?
It's like an ad for Spotify. I think you and I should have to stop paying for Spotify now. Like they should just.
I got really excited and I thought you were being serious.
No,
so
I
was like, the sarcasm went right past me. Well, it is 10. I'm on the East Coast time, so it's 10:10 our time, and it's about time to wrap the show up. But a couple quick things. We issued a video challenge last week called the Uptown Funk Challenge, and we wanted people to submit videos relating to Uptown Funk. It could be anything in the world. We had no submissions, which I know that we had one in the works that fell through, and Adam forgot to send his choreography submission. And, we'll just leave that challenge open, and if we get a submission, we'll throw it on the show. Also, we had a couple people write in for scholarships to Show Choir Camps of America already, so we do have 2 full scholarships to Show Choir Camps of America this summer available. You just answer the question in any way you want to. What does show choir mean to you? And you can email the submission to showchoirlive@gmail.com, and we've already had a couple of those, which is really great.
Yeah, all you Texas kids, send us applications for that.
I was just going to say that. There, they can get that part paid for, and then we'll drive them in 24 hours.
Yeah, so next weekend is another big weekend in the show choir world. Adam and I will be going up to Minneapolis, to Bloomington, Jefferson.
Kennedy!
Dang it, I mix them up every single time.
50-50 chance.
I know, I can't get it right. Every time I say it one way, I think I say it the wrong way.
President. Bloomington, some president.
Yes. And so we'll be up there with Mr. Kevin Chase and Michael Talamonte and a bunch of fun people. Where will you be this weekend? Miss Randall.
To me, sorry, Adam's going to be with you. This weekend I will be here on my couch. So, but no, I'm
watching Show Choir live streams, no doubt.
That's what I'm going to do. All my friends that are competing at Omaha West Side this weekend, and of course Doran and his kiddos that are hosting, we'll wish them good luck. And then, yeah, we're not having to deal with that much until February 27th and 28th for Lone Star. So we'll send you our results via Twitter when we have them that day. Gotcha.
Well, oh yeah, and what's your Twitter account? At Voices of Central.
At Voices of Central. That's the name of the show choir. So that's me. That I tweet under that. And then we also have one for our actual choir department, which is at Central Singers. And then my personal Twitter handle is super boring, so I won't give you that one. I don't ever post anything but running pictures because, you know, that's what I do in my spare time is run races. Adam!
Yeah, let's run sometime. That's awesome! Holy cow! How many marathons have you done? Have you done marathons?
I haven't done a full. I've done 2 halves, and I'm doing another one. I'm doing the Disney Princess half marathon in February, which is going to be awesome.
Great. Well, thanks so much for talking to us. You are such an awesome guest, and we love your energy for show choir, and you're really changing the game down there, and that's so important. And the crazy thing is, what you're doing right now is going to ripple for decades. And
you are the Texas pioneer, seriously.
It really will. Like, it really will go on for decades, and they're all going to catch on to
a lot of children, I'll tell you what.
And when you're, like, old and your kids have kids and you go down to judge a competition in Houston, you'll be like, I started this.
That would be amazing. I can't wait for that day. It's like birthing children professionally, just all the time. Whenever I see a group and know that they weren't even doing this 3 years ago, it is super, super rewarding. And I can't thank my own students and parents enough for being so supportive and enjoying this process with me.
Well, we're proud of you for it, and we're proud of Texas Show Choir. And if you ever need us to retweet any information or anything, we'll be all over it.
That's right. Thank you for that. Thank you.
We're rooting for you guys down there.
We'll see you in Wheaton.
Yeah, I need to stop by Wheaton somehow. One of my other groups is competing about 45 minutes north of there, so I need to figure out how to do that.
Bonds Valley's gonna be. Come on, Buffalo Grove's gonna be there. You gotta come.
Oh yeah, BG is awesome. Shout out to BG. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We're gonna wrap this one up. Adam just ducked out of the room because he's having the mic issue is Adam's issue, and he's figured that out. So he just
Yay!
He committed hangout suicide on us. But anyway, from Iowa City, Iowa, which has gone dark here, and Keller, Texas, and Columbus, Ohio. Thanks for tuning into Show Choir Live. We're going to see you guys next Sunday, same place, same time. Have a good week of rehearsals, everybody. We'll see you on Saturday and Sunday. Thanks.